Today's subject, slavery.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my curse.
As some of you might know, there's a knockoff Pokemon game going around called Palworld, which, not the most creative name. Palworld is basically a Pokemon game with all of your usual features like catching things with Pokeballs, using those Pokemon for unpaid labor, and battling other Pokemon with guns.
Barney's about to meet his maker. Die, you commie fucker! No.
And for those reasons, Palworld has, as of now, reached 1,557,000 active users, beating games like Counter-Strike 2, PUBG, and even Baldur's Gate 3, the game that won pretty much every single award at the Game Awards, which is really surprising since my first impressions of this game when I first saw it in some random showcase was, this looks like a flop. It just seems like a lazy copy of Pokemon, only throwing in guns so they don't get a cease and desist letter, which I'm 95% sure they're gonna get. And if I'm being honest, I don't really understand the whole Pokemon thing, like trading cards or walking into oncoming traffic just to catch a Magikarp. There is a surprisingly large fandom around Pokemon that I will never truly comprehend.
I kind of watch porn relating to ponies.
What? What?
It's called clopping.
But I do have a few theories on why this game is blowing up the way it has. For starters, Pokemon is one of the most financially successful franchises in the world, making billions of dollars. And Palworld is also doing something that has never been done before in a Pokemon game. Besides killing Pokemon and chopping them up, Palworld essentially made an open world where almost anything is possible, including all of the R-rated stuff.
Okay, so you're not homosexual, you're a fucking animal fucker, okay.
No!
And my final theory is a lot of people are buying it because it's a weird game and a whole bunch of people are playing it and oh look, my favorite streamer's playing it. Let me look at the Steam store. No way, $27? All right, might as well. And then before you know it, Palworld snowballs into having the most active players on Steam. But hey, that's just a theory.
And I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss this.
All right, I caught it. Now it's mine and I can force it to do whatever I want.
I think Palworld might have a bright future because it's definitely made enough money to fight off all the Pokemon lawyers, and it has a lot of wiggle room for new features like multiplayer or a larger campaign, and it seems like it's very modder friendly. And I think if they do all of that, then there's a high possibility that this isn't just a game that everyone picks up and drops like only up. And who knows, this might be the next Fortnite, you know? Who doesn't want to throw a Pokeball at Ricky Thicky over there from The Walking Dead? I also saw recently that the developers of Palworld were getting death threats, which is just wild. Like at first, people were saying that they stole Pokemon designs, and that might be mostly true, but I think Palworld did enough to make them different, so it's not just a complete rip. And after that, the Twitter warriors were saying that Palworld is just an asset flip, which I can also kind of see, but it's just not. You can see some of the similarities, I guess, but I think Palworld has way more depth and optimization than to just be called an asset flip. And then there's the most controversial Twitter take on this game being that the developers used AI to make the alternate Pokemon models, and their proof is because a developer said something positive about AI in the past. And I know the topic of AI is kind of controversial. Like, you either think AI is an inevitable future that should be used as a tool for creation, or you think all AI is bad and is stealing other people's work. And it definitely is taking the work of thousands of people and just cramming it together, but I will argue that there is a good possibility that AI generated art or text is more original than people. And I know that sounds crazy, but just hear me out, man. Just hear me out. So these AI generators are taking the data of thousands of people to make something, as opposed to a person who might only take the data, or as we call it, inspiration, of only a handful of people. And that's why a majority of YouTubers do a lot of the same stuff. Like in the gaming commentary community, everyone using a green screen so they can move all around is just doing an impression of Nakey Jakey. And that's fine as long as you take inspiration from more than one person. But even then, how original can something get? Like if you look at all of those 4-hour-long analysis videos, they might as well be written by ChatGPT. And if I'm being real, I think some of them are.
Sometime in roughly 1972, the Fredbear characters are created. 1983, CC's Birthday Bash. 1985, the MCI. 1987, the kidnapped children's incident in the Bite of 87. 1992, FNAF 1 closes and Phone Guy dies. And 2015, Springtrap is unleashed. Meaning we are 2 years away from Phone Guy committing his first murder. And I got no idea what sets him off and causes that to happen. I hope we find out.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
So in my opinion, I think there's only a few original channels that have like a unique style, and the rest are just inspired by. And just because something is inspired by doesn't make it bad or mean that it can't even end up better than the original. For example, Palworld. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if Palworld is heavily inspired by Pokemon and used AI to help them brainstorm new Pokemon models, then I'm fine with that. So overall, a lot of people are enjoying this game and saying things like it's the best Pokemon game they've ever played, and a small minority of people who didn't buy the game are complaining on Twitter. So if you like Pokemon, guns, and slavery, go check out Palworld. And personally, as someone who's not really into Pokemon, I want to play this game after making this video. And for all the Pokemon purists, there's a mod that changes the theme to Pokemon, so if you are a Pokemon fan, I don't see why you wouldn't play this game, because even if you don't support the darker theme of the game, the success of Palworld is going to make Game Freak innovate and listen to its fans. And if for some reason you're against that, then I don't know what is wrong with you. You might just be a robot racist.
Pikachu! Ow, fuck! Oh, God!